Hi, Mac. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm okay. You just came back off your weekend, so I have not had a day off since Comic-Con. So I'm,
Still recovering?
yeah, I really am still recovering. Um, I don't know what I think this weekend I should be able to catch up. So just need to get to Saturday because tomorrow there's a lot too. There's a lot of stuff coming to Disney Plus. Friday's just always a big day in terms of content. But we're talking
Yeah.
Marvel today, Wednesday, the Wednesday Warriors of comic books.
Yeah. Got some new issues, including another Empyre.
Is that where we want to start? Empyre number 3.
Yeah, let's jump right into the big story. How'd you feel about this issue? Last week, we both kind of agreed that it was sort of a setup, almost like a filler sort of issue. What did you think this week?
I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I felt it. I don't know. I can't tell you one thing that happened that was like consequential, except that there's a lot of talking, and I don't know what the point is. The cover's kind of a little spoilery.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I just don't. I felt like it's like a war movie where everything takes place inside the Situation Room, but they still don't really make any major decisions. They talk to Black Panther through communication, but like you don't see anything. You don't really know what's you have an idea of what he's doing, but like you don't really see that in action. You see sort of the Hulkling, like what's going on with him, but no payoff, just sort of more setup. And then the whole Captain Marvel thing. Now I know there's a Captain Marvel issue this week that might pay it off a little bit more, but just seemed sort of didn't go anywhere. So, but I was disappointed this week. I mean, I still love the crew, so I hate to get too negative, but I didn't really get what the point of this issue was.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, everything you said, I agree with. It was cool seeing Black Panther getting to be a big part of this now, and it seems like he has a plan in mind that we're going to get to see that should hopefully be exciting. It did give us a reveal, but again, you mentioned the comic or the cover being a little spoiler in that. It did also give us a twist ending though, which was nice. So that was cool. And after Comic-Con, I am excited for next week's issue, Empyre number 4. As Al Ewing specifically mentioned, he can't wait to see what everyone's reaction is to the end of that issue. So I do kind of get it. If they're going to blow our minds next week, then I am okay with this issue. But if it falls flat again, then we're starting to run into a problem.
Yeah, and I'm just surprised. I mean, it's like they were trying to buy some time for tie-in issues. Like they wanted to create a little bit of space, but I don't see. I guess I just don't see what the point was. I mean, Mantis shows up and says she's going to do something, but you don't see it. Like it's everyone saying what they're gonna do, but nobody does it really, right, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, like we said, it's a whole bunch of setup right now, and they're building up to a lot of different payoffs, and I'm excited to see, any one of them. But like you pointed out, they're setting up these other tie-in issues, and that's where a lot of the actual action and the story is taking place. And that leads us into our next comic for the day, Empyre Captain America number 1. What do you think of this one?
I mean, I felt like Captain America is not getting a lot of service in the main title, which is fine. I mean, it's not his story, but it was nice to see sort of Captain America be Captain America again, and I liked it. I haven't read the main Captain America title in a long time, basically since Ed Brubaker left. So, it made me kind of want to jump back into that character.
Yeah, this was just such a Captain America story, right? It wasn't even him like leading a team of superheroes. It was him in the army. It was just, just that. So that was cool. It was cool to get back to that. But like we talked about Empyre Avengers last week, and where all the action was taking place there, and there was these different teams of heroes fighting all over the world, and that was really cool. And this kind of just zeroed in. I mean, obviously it's Captain America story, so it's going to zero in on Captain America, but it's just this one fight in DC. And I don't know. It was good. It was entertaining, but it wasn't. Like last week. I preferred. I would prefer last week's Avengers issue instead.
Yeah, and I think. I mean, to me, this is sort of like more of a classic tie-in, where you're seeing like one character kind of, which I like. I like those, but I think we kind of been Empyre. The other tie-in issues, at least the ones we've read, seem to be more of like telling other pieces of the story as opposed to this person's perspective. It's almost like back when they didn't used to do tie-ins as much as like the events would happen in the book. Like this almost feels more like that than a tie-in issue. Like when you're going along and then suddenly, there's some sort of invasion and whatever Captain America is doing in this title pauses, he deals with that, maybe moves his story a little bit further down the line. Like that's why I kind of felt like it was a little bit more old school like that.
Yeah. And also, if an alien enemy gets inside one of your guys, he's not okay. All right. Let's not just sort of trust him that when he says he's fine. All right. You're dealing with aliens here.
Well, you think they would know by now.
Right. So our last issue for the day, and this would be my pick of the week. I was really surprised with how much I enjoyed this one, and it's X Factor #1.
Yeah, it's my pick of the week too, which is, we talked a little bit about like how, previously, like I'm not quite sure what's going on with Krakoa. Jonathan Hickman gives me headaches in a good way, but like, it's hard for me to really, especially since we kind of spot issue, like we don't necessarily read we don't read every issue that comes out every week. Sometimes I have no clue what's going on, but I love the setup here. I love the sort of team building. I think it's kind of funny how like the X-Men, whenever they create new teams, just use old names. Like, what are we going to call this group? Oh, we'll call them the X-Men, or we'll call them X Factor, or we'll call them Excalibur. Like they always just reuse the same X-Men names. I mean, you understand the business behind that, but like, I thought it was set up. Like I felt like it in a good way. I felt like the book was long. It was just like chock full of characterization that like, I was like, is this like a triple sized issue? Like what was like, it felt like an annual almost. I mean, you had Draken doing his thing in a great way. You had great stuff with the name's escaping me, but you just had some great I would say great character moments in team books. When in a team book, a lot of times you lose that because it's like not about the person, it's about the team. So it becomes a little bit Mission Impossible-y, and they you don't see a lot of interaction. I thought this was definitely my pick of the week too. So
yeah, like you said, the so many great characters, and they really give them each their own moment. And that was what I really liked about this issue was it's a twist on a normal superhero team up. They're not fighting some big enemy, right? They're investigating. They're an investigatory team, and they all get to use their individual abilities in a way that helps the investigation in a a completely different way each time. And just, so many great characters like Polaris, Rachel Summers was fantastic in this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I keep losing track of all the Summers, all the futuristic Cyclops, Jean Grey, Clone.
Especially when they keep dying and keep coming back. But
yeah.
And I mean, I even had some great, like great Magneto moment, which, he's not a part of the character, but like, really, I think, especially it kind of got you a little bit more into what he's like in Krakoa, as opposed to sort of, I always have to remember that the X-Men franchise has not always been, and will not always be, Giant Size X-Men #1 or the X-Men 90 series. Like we kind of get used to where it was in those classic moments. And it evolves. I mean, I still get a little weird when I see Professor X walking, but it's I thought this was definitely hands down. Kudos to the team involved. X Factor is a great title, and they're doing something different with it. But I really like what they're doing.
Yeah, I would agree, and also gave us one of the most relatable comic book moments when Rachel Summers is trying to get her dog to poop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for a dog in a comic book, but. I mean, just because it gives you that, like, oh yeah, they're human. Like they have. I mean, there was a great Hawkeye series a couple of years ago, maybe longer than that, where it's like Hawkeye at home, and it was like, it just felt like, oh yeah, they still got to do the normal things that people do. They still got to eat. They still got to have their dog poop. They still got to get frustrated with their dogs. But whatever.
Granted, it's not a real dog. It was a war wolf, I believe it was called. But
Yeah, but it's
All right, so you want to jump into some news here?
sure. Where do I want to start?
So just earlier today, we had the next War Table event for Marvel's Avengers, the new game coming out this September. Did you get a chance to check it out?
I didn't check out. No. We had a different. There was a lot of going on this morning. So I was exercising, learning all about Shark Fest on Net Geo. But yeah, no. But I did see this cool image. Ta-da!
Yeah, so that was sort of the big reveal of today's event. Everybody had been asking. We've seen Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Miss Marvel, who's going to be a part of the game, Black Widow, and everybody was wondering, where is Hawkeye? Where is this major part of the team? And they just revealed today that he will be in the game. Now, interestingly, they also announced that the main story is going to be called Reassemble, and then after you get past that, you'll go into a mode called Avengers Initiative, and Hawkeye will be a part of the game in that sequence. They did also reveal that there are 4 new characters involved in that, and Hawkeye is the first to be revealed. So yes,
1 down, 3 to go.
Yes. So I'd be interested to see who else is featured in this game because it is looking really, really good. The other big piece of news that they gave out of it was really just an overall look at their beta, which will be coming out August 7th, I believe, if I got the date correctly. Yeah, August 7th. And they really are including a lot in this beta. There's 3 different game modes, including some of the missions from the story that you'll get a chance to play. You get to use 4 different characters: Miss Marvel, Hulk, Iron Man, and Black Widow. So, I mean, a whole lot to feature in a beta for this game.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to playing it. Are they doing another War Table event? Did they announce another one, or?
I don't think they gave us a date, but there should be one more, I believe.
Okay. And then look at some variant covers. You want to talk about these? Let's go with, how about Champions?
Yeah, so we talked about the pull list last week, and Champions was one of the issues that I was most excited for. I like the idea of these young heroes having to overcome the law stopping them from being heroes. So just a cool look at a variant cover. Recall
not as spooky as this variant cover, though.
Yes, yeah. So they also released a series of horror-themed covers that'll be coming out in October. So yeah, you had a Spider-Man one. There was a whole bunch of other ones: Iron Man, Captain Marvel, which you can check out all of the other covers up on laughingplace.com.
And then I know we just came off of Comic-Con, but right before Comic-Con, they announced a new Fantastic Four story. With the legendary Neil Adams and Mark Waid, Fantastic Four Antithesis. I think it might have gotten a little lost in all the Comic-Con crazy, but what do you know about this title?
So yeah, I was interested. Like you said, it got lost because the announcement was made, I believe, it was last week. Right in the midst of Comic-Con, and I was expecting to get some information about this during the Next Big Thing panel, and they never even touched on it. Basically, a new mysterious villain. And let me try and get the quote right that Marvel gave us here. That new villain guaranteed to send shockwaves throughout all of fandom. So obviously we're dealing with a big, powerful new villain. And as you can see in the cover there, looks like I don't know how many times the Silver Surfer has died at this point, but another death of the Silver Surfer. So
yeah, I feel like it's almost, comic book characters die and come back all the time, but Silver Surfer is particularly prone.
Yeah, for such a powerful character, he sure dies.
Right.
So yeah, just another exciting comic book. I mean, they didn't give a ton of information other than we're dealing with a really big villain. So I am excited. That the villains are the best parts of the story, in my opinion, usually. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Moving to the MCU, we got some news following Disney sort of readjusting their release schedule. Sony pushed the Spider-Man installment, the Tom Holland Spider-Man installment, to December, right?
Yeah, and you would probably know better than I would. This seemed to me like more of a strategic move than an actual delay, with Avatar moving off of the December holiday release. So it just seemed like not a necessary move, but a smart move on Sony's part.
Yeah, I mean, it's a month, so like it's not like they need. I mean,
yeah, how much?
Assuming they can start filming soon, like I don't think a month's gonna change anything. Although I've never known a movie that didn't wait till like the last possible moment to get finished. But when you have that sort of I'd say, the 2 weeks before or the week before Christmas slot become free, Disney kind of giving it up.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like just sort of like, why wouldn't you take that? And then it's a, Sony's making it, but it's, Disney has a vested interest in seeing it succeed too. So, it's not like some of the other, like Avatar, Star Wars movies, we gotta wait a whole other year. I think at this point, waiting a month seems trite.
Yeah, and especially with something that was already so far out, it's not like anybody's real disappointed about it moving back that small amount of time.
And we got, is this the fourth to last episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tonight?
I can't remember what number we're on at this point. It's all sort of blending together, which is good, right? Because that just means how cohesive the story is. So what is this, episode 10 that we're on? Something like that. 9. Okay, yeah, right in that ballpark. And neither one of us has seen it yet. So, but I will have a recap up as soon as the episode wraps.
I think you're right. It's 10.
Okay.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's we're coming into the home stretch here. After last week's time warp mind freak.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it tonight. I didn't get a chance to watch it ahead of time, so it's weird to like be totally excited about it when we talk.
Yeah, last week's episode 2 left us off in an interesting place because the team took a big loss, a big emotional moment for the team, and then gave us this sort of thriving villain. So it's going to be interesting to see. Are they going to meet up at this point? We'll have to. I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting to see when they finally do meet up, though.
Last we got some new Marvel prose books coming from a new publisher who I'm going to call as Aconite.
That looks right to me.
It probably means something. It's probably a real word. I just don't know it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We got Legends of Asgard, which is, in the realms of, is the Norse-inspired story of the 10 realms. You got the Marvel Heroines series, which will be about Marvel heroines. Xavier's Institute, which follows folks from the Charles Xavier School for Mutants. And Marvel Untold, which is talks about the furthest corner of the Marvel universe. So each of the books will fall under one of those 4 series. The first novel under heroines will be Domino Strays. Domino, you may remember from like the Deadpool film.
Mm-hmm. Which he's an interesting character, so that's a book I'm definitely interested in.
The head of Mimir from the Legends of Asgard, telling a story about a young Heimdall on a quest to save Odin. I don't know what I said. Young Heimdall on a quest to save Odin. Liberty and Justice for All fall under the Xavier Institute banner. And then The Harrowing of Doom. I don't know why this is under the Marvel Untold banner, because I'm pretty sure that Dr. Doom is not the furthest corner of.
Well, we've definitely gotten a lot of stories about his background before. That being said, this is probably the one I'm most excited for. I love Dr. Doom, and anytime you can give me more of his story, I'm going to dive right in.
And then this Sword of Surtur from The Legends of Asgard, which evokes memories of Thor Ragnarok.
Yep, absolutely.
So those are cool. I look forward to reading your reviews when they come.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So kind of slow week in terms of Marvel, but we're some good books out there. One we didn't review, but I thought was really good is this week's issue of Amazing Spider-Man. So if you get a chance to check that one out.
Yeah, I didn't get to read it yet, but I'm looking forward to reading it after this.
Okay, well, thanks, Mac.
Yeah. Well, hey, when's the last time you said it's been a slow week for Marvel the week of Comic-Con?
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, there's tomorrow we will have a new episode of Marvel Storyboards with Joe Quesada. Obviously, there's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tonight. There's stuff happening, but it just seems a tiny bit slow. But that's okay. We could all use a breath. We could all go sleep off our Comic-Con at home crud and get back to business next Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next time. Just give me 1 second, because tomorrow Mac will be leading our Laughing Place Movie Club discussion of the 30 for 30 film Winning Time.
Yeah, not a Marvel one.
No, not yeah. So we'll check that out. We also we got people all over the place tomorrow. 9:35 Disney Junior Dance Party. 11 o'clock Downtown Disney walkthrough. 1 o'clock Epcot discussion. So there's just a whole lot tomorrow. So join us all day tomorrow, and we'll see you out there. Bye, everybody.